Hey everybody, hope you all are having a wonderful day. It's pretty nice here in Cincinnati. It's a little overcast, but God, it's cooler and it has been blazing lately. Glad for the cool down. Hey, yesterday I posted a little something in one of my art groups about water mixable oils. Yes, that's right, water mixable oils. Oil and water mixing? Really? What kind of magic is this? I've been using them for a couple of months now. It started off on vacation down in Florida. I took an easel, some brushes, some canvases, and I thought, when I get down there, I'll just buy me a little set of water mixables and do a little painting. I had never used them before, didn't expect to like them, but I didn't want to take thinners and solvents and stuff out on the beach that could be harmful for the environment, let's be honest. And so I got these water mixables. Like I said, didn't plan on liking them, and but we did a few paintings. So today I wanted to do a little video about them. Now, I posted in one of the art groups I'm a member of, I posted about water mixables, and I got a lot of questions, and I thought, well, maybe we should just go ahead, make this video, and see if we can answer some of those. So today, what I am using is, let me see if I can get that up there, Winsor Newton Artisan paints. Now, this is not a review of this paint. This is the only paint I've used. I've got nothing to compare it to. So it's more of water mixables. What are they? Do they work? And do they behave like regular traditional oil paints? So we'll be using the Winsor Newton Artisan line. In addition, I'll be using their Artisan line of refined linseed oil. And one little thing I have found is I cannot find a white medium for their water mixable line, Artisan. And honestly, I've looked at other brands and I can't find any. So what I did was I made my own white medium. Okay, I made my own white medium. I did that by mixing one of these little tubes. I don't have the white anymore because I used it, but one of these little 12 ml tubes, I mixed that with an equal amount of the water mixable linseed oil, and I made my own white medium. Now, when I say white medium, I'm talking liquid white, magic white, amazing white, grand ultimate supreme white, whatever you want to call it, okay? It's a white medium. So that's what I used. And what we will be cleaning our brushes while we paint in, it's just water. Just water. Now, on final cleanup, I will also be using some soap. This is Chelsea, Chelsea Classical Studio Lavender and Olive Oil Soap. It's a bar, and I'm going to take you all the way through it from beginning to the end, which is including cleanup of my brushes and reshaping them. And so with that, I think we're just about ready to paint. I've got a 12 by 16 canvas here that I just split in half with a piece of tape. I am going to use some of my white medium up here. I will use just the linseed oil down here so you can kind of get an idea, if you're doing a night scene or a black canvas or, a white canvas. So we'll see how it all goes. And yeah, about time to get to painting. Okay, so something I get asked quite a lot about these types of paints. What kind of brushes do you use? Because as we know, if you wash a natural bristle brush with soap and water, it's going to fray. It basically gets split ends just like we can in our hair. But there are a couple that I do use. This one is a Wooster Yachtsman. It is natural bristle, and it costs about $6 at the hardware store. Make sure I get it out up there so you can see it. I have used this one probably on about 5 or 6 paintings, and this is what it looks like at the moment. I can get a chiseled edge on it still. I've still got some life left on this. So that's the Wooster Yachtsman. I also use the Wooster Amber Fong, also natural bristle. These are about $5 at the hardware store. And see, I don't use real expensive brushes because these I'm gonna have to replace. I already know that. I also don't normally use a 2-inch brush, mainly just 1-inch, and so that's just me. You know, you do you. I'm sure this would work just fine with 2-inch brushes. Add about $1 onto the cost of each for a 2-inch brush. Now, when it comes to my flats, filberts, rounds, liners, brights, I use mainly, this is a Princeton Aspen. This is a synthetic hog brush. It's okay to wash them in water. I'll use the Princeton Aspen line. I also, this is actually Hobby Lobby's line, Master's Touch, also synthetic hog. I know some people have a problem with Hobby Lobby. You don't have to go there to get these. You can, you know, use the Princeton Aspen that you can find at Michael's. You know, you do you, no judgment. I also use Simply Simmons for their fan brushes. I'll be honest, I don't know if this is natural bristle or synthetic bristle. I think it's natural, but that's what I use. All those I don't mind washing in soap and water. I am not recommending you wash natural bristle brushes in soap and water. If I can find a synthetic hog 1-inch brush, I will begin using it. I actually have something in mind. I just haven't tried it yet. So there we go. There we go. So let's go ahead and try out some of these paints. These are, again, the Winsor Newton Artisan water mixable oils. Over here we have titanium white, cad yellow, yellow ochre. They don't, well they do, they have a sap green, but for some reason sap green is about 40% higher than most of your others. I mean, I can understand if you're, this is a cad yellow hue, which is going to be cheaper. Your regular cad yellow, yeah, I could see that costing more. But sap green, I don't get it. But what I have here, this is olive green. Not a huge fan of it, but a lot of times I'll add some cad yellow hue in with the olive green. Or if I want to darken it even further, I'll add some blue. So olive green, alizarin crimson, phthalo blue, phthalo green, burnt sienna, and burnt umber. And so let's do this. I am going to start up here with our homemade liquid white. We'll get this put on. Now, I pre-primed this canvas. I don't trust a factory gesso priming job. I just don't. I've been burned too many times. You know, you put your oil or your medium on there, and it just soaks it right in, eats it all up. So I prime all my canvases. I gesso them all, every one of them. When I don't, I regret it. So I try very hard to do that. All right. Got me some rags here. I'm just gonna get some of that white out of there. I'm not real big on cleaning my brushes during a painting, and these are going to be very simple. We just want to see how this paint works. Not going into a whole lot of detail on these, and it looks like I have just the right amount of my white medium on there. So using the same brush, I just wiped it out on a towel, a rag here. Using the same brush, I'm going to go into some phthalo blue, and we'll put in a little sky. Put us in a little sky here. Now, another question I was asked is, do these dry any quicker than regular oils? No, they do not. They dry in about the same amount of time. Now, from what I have read on these water mixables, it's the water will evaporate, leaving just the oils behind. There's an emulsifier in these things so that water and oil can mix, but the water will evaporate, leaving the oils behind, and what you're left with is what you would have on any traditional oil. That's what I read. Okay, let's do our little water down here. Maybe just a touch more. Like I said, very simple. This isn't a painting that I'm going to do anything with other than, quite honestly, paint over it. So, because we're just going to see how this stuff works. Let's see if we can blend this just a bit. There we go. So we have us a happy little sky there. Hope I don't get in trouble for saying happy little sky. I will say I have some happy little coffee mug here. It's I don't know. It's about 10 a.m. I think. And quite honestly, I could probably take a nap. That's what happens when you get old, right? All right, let's throw in some clouds, see how that does. So let's take some white, put that right there, and I'm going to take a touch of crimson. Ooh, too much, baby, too much. That's all right, we'll just add a little more white there. There we go. I mean, yeah, I'm not like trying to really go into some detail, but I still don't want to set my sky on fire, or my clouds anyways. Let me throw some clouds in. Let's see what happens here. Now, you know, you got the blue there on that, on your fan brush. I'm just gonna give it a wipe on a rag. I don't know, about a 4-pack of these rags at Walmart while I was down in Florida. Yeah, not that you couldn't buy them here, but I just happened to be in Florida. That's kind of how this all came about. I was in Florida. I wanted to paint. Didn't want to take anything toxic out onto the beach. And so I just bought some of these water mixables at Michael's. And never used them, didn't expect to like them, and I find myself using them quite a bit. I wanted to give them a fair shot. I really did. And in my mind, I thought, well, you know, maybe I will make a video about them at some point. But you guys, if you've watched any of my YouTube, you know I mainly do just time lapse. Nobody wants to sit and listen to me jabber while I paint. So hopefully you're sitting there and listening to me jabber right now while I paint. Okay, So we got a couple little clouds in there. Let's grab our brush, our 1-inch brush. Again, I'm just wiping it out here on the towel. That's all. Okay. And we'll just fuzz out the bottoms, fluff up the tops, and go over. Do the same thing over here. There we go. This one I think we can just kind of do. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. And there we have a few little clouds. Okay, well, cool. Okay, so how do they work as far as, like knife work goes? Well, let's see. I like using this smaller knife myself. Bigger one there, smaller one there. I mean, you do you. That's just me. All right, let's take some burnt umber. We'll throw some phthalo blue in there. We'll throw some crimson, a little more umber. All right, maybe we'll even put some of this here olive green in it. Just mix that up. Get us a color there. I'm gonna take some of this here white, throw it in there. Yeah, I think that'll work for us. Okay. So let's put in a little mountain. It does this little number there. Goes off this way. There we go. Grab our 1-inch brush. Let's pull it out. Now, are they as thick as some of the more traditional paints? Not really. Maybe it's just a fuzz thinner, but that really isn't a big deal. If you feel like they're way too thin for your taste, you can always just squirt them out on a piece of cardboard and let it sit for half hour to an hour. I mean, I actually had some gambling oil paint do that to me out at a Steve Ross Stain Adjuster workshop, and it was I was like, I don't know what to do, and they came up, gave me a piece of cardboard. I put the paint on there. I let it sit for an hour. It was good, but in the meantime, they'd already started the painting. A guy named Steve from out in California. Steve, you're the man. He let me use some of his titanium white paint and got me through for that first hour. So let's put a little bit of highlights. I'm just using that cloud mix that I had there. Maybe there's some right here. Maybe right here. As I said, not doing a whole lot of detail here. Just want to see how this paint works. There we go. Maybe we'll take a little bit of blue. Mix a little blue for shadow color. Pull that out. Put it right here. I'll tell you something. I don't know how Bob got those paintings done as quickly as he did. I mean, no edits, no nothing. Front to back, go. Bam. He was a heck of a guy, I'll tell you. I'd have never even started. I've never even tried. Okay, not for him. All right, well, let's fuzz this thing out. Lift. All right. Well, got us a little mountain in. Let's, sometimes I'll use, well, if you really want to see what water will do with natural bristles, I'll use this poor little guy. He's all frayed out, and that's okay. He makes some great foothills. So let's make some foothills. Let's take some of this here olive green. Olive green. Grab some of this white up here. There we go. And maybe we got a little hill coming in from maybe a little bit darker. A little darker. All right. Maybe. Get some of that. Just use some of this. Grab some yellow ochre, throw it in there. Maybe a little cad yellow. There we go. And maybe, let's see, can we make some trees? As I said, something very simple, very quick, because I just want to see how does this stuff work. Is it going to work for a wet on wet painting? Well, we'll see. Let's grab our 1-inch brush again, and we're going to pull some of this down. Fact, I think I'm going to take that. I'll put some reflections in right here. All right. So far, these oils are working pretty much like your traditionals. Let's go ahead and throw in a little bank here. Oh, got a little little hair somehow on there. There we go. Let's put a little highlight, a little sienna, a little umber, a little white. And, you know, like Bob always said, what we don't like will just turn into reflections, right? Let's grab our 1-inch brush. Let's pull down. There we go. Wipe off our excess paint. Throw in our reflections. Okay, now I can't put liquid white up here on the on my palette. It'll run right off. I said liquid white. I meant white medium. Hope I don't get in trouble for that. Okay, so I'm just going to put it on my palette down here on my table, and we'll crack in a little water line here. A few little, there we go. All right. Now, I always like to put a little something right here, you know. So let's do a little ourselves. We'll go with a little more blue here. Maybe add a little burnt umber to this mix here, just to kind of gray it down a little bit. There we go, right on through. I'm not using a whole lot of paint here. I would normally use more, but you know, just not going to. It's a small little area. All right, let's just put us a little something right here. Trying not to get down there in that black area, that black canvas, because we still got to see how it does on our transparent colors, don't we? At least I'd be curious. All right, let's with that. Go. Maybe we got us a nice little evergreen tree right here. Maybe he's got his little friend, because you know what Bob taught us? Everybody needs a friend. And he's growing a little crooked, but that's okay. We all have our little twists, and that's all right. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes you you. All right, so there's that. We'll throw just an indication of a tree trunk here and there. And we'll throw a few little highlights on this. That's there. You know, another thing I'll use a lot of times are chip brushes. This is a 1/2 inch chip. I've got it up to 3 inch. I don't know, anywhere from 79 cents to $1.29 at the hardware store. Yeah. All right. So let's just come down here, put us in a few little grasses. Nothing real elaborate. Just want to see how this paint does. Alright, there's that. Maybe we'll take a little bit of crimson. Put a few little splashes of color in there. All right. So, it seems like it worked just fine up there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up the palette a little bit and clean my brushes in just H2. In fact, I'll tell you what, just to show you, here we go. Here's this little brush. I'm gonna wipe him off. I'll wipe him off on just a towel, and it just comes right off. I'm just rub it on that screen down there, and there we go. We're ready to rock. So I'm gonna clean off the palette, clean up these brushes a little bit, and then we'll do this one here. All right, be right back. All right, and we are back. So let's move on here to our black canvas, see how this does. As far as a clear medium, I use, again, the Artisan, Winsor Newton Artisan linseed oil. It's water mixable. Okay, now you can use these paints with your traditional oils, but at that point it's no longer water mixable. So they can be used with your traditional. Now this time around, last time on this one, on the white canvas, I used a Wooster, what was that? Wooster Yachtsman. I am now using the Wooster Amber Fong, just because. And I'm just gonna put this linseed oil all over my black canvas. I'm just going to scrub that right in. I don't want a whole lot. There we go. Make sure it's all over there. And there you go. I'm just going to take a shop towel. Yeah, these paper shop towels. Get that excess oil out of my brush. There we go. And then I am going to take the excess off of here, and what I'm left with is exactly the amount that I need. Okay, there we go. Now let's go ahead and put some transparent color on here. I'm going to take phthalo blue, and I'm just going to scrub that in. And we're going to see if these water mixables work like our traditional oils on a black canvas. are we going to get that effect? Oh, you hold still there. Okay, so I have it all covered in phthalo blue. I'm going to take some phthalo green. Throw some of that in here. Just wherever. Just down here near the bottom. There we go. All right. Okay. Just gonna wipe that out. Get that excess out. I'm gonna take my water, which is pretty murky now since I cleaned my brushes earlier, but I'm just going to take that water and clean my brush in it. There we go. There we go. Just going to take a rag, squeeze it. I'm going to quote unquote wipe the devil out of it. I'll wipe the devil out of it. I don't particularly like beating the brushes. Now, again, I'm going to tell you straight up, I do not recommend cleaning your natural bristle brushes in water. They are going to fray. So if you have a $20 brush, do not do it. These, I know I'm going to have to replace at some point. That's why I buy the cheap ones. And sometimes I will just use, as I said earlier, chip brushes. I have no problem with that. Okay. So, we got all that on there. Let's see how it does. Take us some titanium white. Not going to need a whole bunch, but we are going to need some. Take us some titanium white, and let's just go right here. And let's just make some whirligigs. I don't know what else to call them. There we go. Wiping that brush off, coming back, getting some more white. Go right back here where we started and come out this way. There we go. I think that's enough of that. And we have our 1-inch amber Fong. We'll go right here where we started. And we'll just start blending that out. Now, this isn't really meant to be an instructional tutorial type thing, but if you're ever doing this, something like this, and you're blending, be sure to wipe out your brush before you go back to the center. You don't want to carry that dark back into your light source. I'm going to add some more white right in here. And since I got a little much on there, I'll take a knife and just wipe a little bit of it off, and we'll go ahead and blend some more. Okay. There we are. So how does it do with finger painting? I don't know. Let's find out. Got a little bit of white here. We're going to sit it right here, and as Marion Dutton said, get your motor running. Right there. Bam. Come in here, we'll put us a little maybe a little bit more. A little indication of a moon. Tell you that Marion Dutton, Mazart Studios, hands down, one of the finest artists I have ever seen in my life. My gosh, her portraits are amazing. And she teaches a technique. I'm in love with it. It's called the Mazart Method from Mazart Studios in England. There we go. Got us a little moon there. As I said, nothing, not trying to paint the Mona Lisa or anything. We're just seeing how this stuff works. Okay, so let's take some umber, some phthalo blue, mix them up, see if we can get a nice dark color there. There we go. That'll work. Just spread that down. We'll put us a little mountain here. Not mountaineer, mountain here. Put a little mountain here. Maybe it just goes off the side of the canvas there. Doesn't really matter. There we go. Take my amber Fong. Pull it down. Okay. Now, let's add a little highlights here. Use the small edge here. Use some of this mountain mix here. Okay, got our little shadows in. There we go. Hey, looks like a mountain to me. I'll take it. You know what? I'm gonna put a little more burnt umber out here on the canvas, or not the canvas, on the palette. And as you can see, it's thick. I've seen some that are thicker, but I've definitely seen a lot that are thinner. Okay, let's go ahead and mix up some more burnt umber, some more phthalo blue. Let's add some crimson in there. Let's add some phthalo green in there, and some of this olive green. Mix that up. There we go. I'm going to add some white. There we go. That ought to work. Let's grab us a fan brush here. things. There, I like that better. Find the magnet. There we are. I have magnets along the bottom side of this easel for my brushes. Okay. I keep looking down to my right because that's usually where I keep my palette. Maybe that goes off into the distance. Maybe we have us a nice. I don't know. Okay. Put us in a couple evergreens. Just off in the distance there. There we go. So far, these water mixables are behaving very similar, very similar to our traditional oils. Just taking a little of that olive green and some cad yellow just to lighten it up some. Maybe we'll throw some yellow ochre in there. And just tapping the brush. Push the little grassy areas in. We are. Okay. Now I'm just going to take another amber Fong brush here. I'm going to grab some white. Don't need a whole bunch. I got too much there. All right, I'm just going to come up right underneath our moon. I'm going to grab, pull down, grab, pull down, grab and pull down. Flip it over, come right back here to the center, grab, pull down. Okay, we'll wipe this out, wipe this brush out, come across. Go. We'll throw us in some little short line, little burnt umber. Again, we're not going crazy here. Trying to get everything just right. Just want to see how it lays. Does it actually work? A little sienna. Some white marble, mix that. Push and pull. Again, we will pull down, form a few little reflections with this shoreline. There's that. Come across. Put in a little water line here. And I would say there you have it. Water mixable oils. You know, as I was painting these two very simple little scenes, I was paying very close attention. Is this doing anything any different? I'll be honest, when I first started using these in May, there was a bit of a learning curve. They don't lay exactly like your traditional oils. However, that learning curve is very little, very small. You catch on to it pretty quickly. Some of the differences that I've noticed, it's more of a texture thing. I mean, they're not that much different, but there is a difference that I can't quite put my finger on. But I do like them. I like them a lot. And coming up in our next segment, you're going to be seeing why I like them so much, because I am going to do a full cleanup. I mean, I won't bore you with every single brush, but I'll show you how I do a full cleanup at the end of a painting. So I will be right back. I'm going to set the camera up at a different angle so you can see down onto the table as I clean everything. Be right back. Okay, so we are back, and I am ready to clean some brushes here. Now, before I get started, remember, this is, let me get it over here. This is my Wooster Yachtsman brush, and remember I cleaned it with just that water. It was kind of murky, but I just cleaned it with that water, and look, remember what I said about natural bristle brushes fraying, getting split ends? Here you go. This is what happens. I do not recommend you do this with an inexpensive brush at all. But there is a little something that I do with these when I clean them. And let me show you. So let's go right in. I changed out my water. I got some clean water, and I have this Chelsea Classical Studio Lavender and Olive Oil soap. Get that down there in the camera. Had to get up there so these old eyes could read it. There we are, and it comes in a bar. Okay, so I wet my brush down. Now I'm going to go right here into this soap, and I'm really going to see if I can get that where you can see it. Really going to try and work up a lather. Okay. Now this brush is relatively clean already. There's a little bit of staining there. I'm going to get some soap, make sure to get it up there in that stain area. And the thing that I like is I'll take my fingers, and yes, I know I have paint all over my hands. That's because I grabbed my rag and grabbed it right where some wet paint was. That's all right. Lavender and olive oil soap, I have no problem getting my hands into this. Whereas with paint thinners, thanks, but no, I would rather not. Okay, now got a towel here. Just gonna wipe out some of the excess, maybe wipe some off of my hand here. There we are. Wipe out some of the excess. Go right back here into this water. Give it a rinse. And then I'm going to take a look at it. Okay, dry that baby off. Okay, take a look at it. Looks like I've got all the paint out of there. Now I like to take this bar of soap, flip it upside down. This is a clean area. I'm gonna get a little bit of soap, or little water right there on that soap. And once again, I'm going to work up a bit of a lather here. I am going to shape this brush. Yeah, I'm going to shape it. There we go. I shape it to a nice chiseled edge. I bring in the corners. Dang it. I keep moving this thing out of the camera eye. Sorry about that, guys. I am no professional when it comes to videos. Okay, so I'm going to shape it into a chiseled edge. I'm going to bring in the sides, and there you go. And I'm going to leave that soap in it. Let me get this over here. There we go. I'm just going to leave the soap in that, and it'll dry that way. I'm going to set it over there on my magnet. And I'm going to let it dry that way. Then when it's time to use it again, I will rinse it with the little clean water, and we're good to go. Okay, let's clean our amber Fong, our Wooster amber Fong brush. The same way. I'm going to get it in there. I'm going to get, now if you see there, my lather is turning a color. That was hidden pigment. I didn't see it in there. It looked pretty clean to me. But there was some pigment left in there. I do believe that by using this soap and water, I actually get my brushes cleaner than I ever have before. I truly, truly, truly do. Okay, there we go. Clean that. All right. We're going to squeeze out the excess just to try and keep, the amount of soap I'm putting into the water. Try and keep it down a little bit. I mean, it's not like it's that big of a deal. Squeeze out a little. Pat it. All right. Now I'll even take this bar of soap. I can have that dirty lather in there. I'll just wipe it out. Flip that baby over to its clean side, and we'll put a little in here and reshape our brush. Again, bring it in to a chiseled edge. Bring it to a chiseled edge. Pull in the sides a little bit, and we will set it over here to dry. Here we are with our fan brush, water, and I'm really going to get that. Let's see if I can hold back. Get out of the way there. There we are. Rinse, tap out the excess, and reshape. Okay, we'll set it in its rack. There's that one. And last brush. Now this is the way I do things. there may be better ways to do it. And if so, use those better ways. And tell me. Tell me. Because honestly, I'm still learning with these water mixables. I'm loving them though. One of the commenters on my post in the art group said that she loved to paint, but her doctor said no more paints that require thinners, turpentines, solvents, stuff like that. And so she hasn't been able to paint oils. And she seemed very happy that these were out here on the market, and she was going to give them a try. So there we go. All clean, all done. Then just, I'd like to wipe off the soap a little bit, wipe that nastiness off. I say nastiness, it's pigment. If it's in your brush, it's nastiness. If it's on your canvas, it's art. So there we are. Water mixable oils. So there it is, guys. Water mixable oils. We cleaned up with soap and water. Doesn't get much better than that. Do I recommend them? Absolutely. Absolutely. I love them. They are fantastic, and I don't have to get out the paint thinners, stuff like that. Cleanup is a breeze. Much better for the environment, much better for your lungs, your skin. Just better all around. Now, will I completely give up using traditional oils? No. No. I'm still going to be using traditional oils, but I want to use these water mixables 90% of the time. That's what I want. I'm working my way there. So, hey, if you're thinking about giving it a try, highly recommend. There are many different brands out on the market. I just happen to use Winsor Artisan. If you like something else, then I say use it. This was just a video to say, hey, does this work? And yes, yes it does. I'm happy to report. So until next time, guys, remember to keep looking up, because that's where our strength comes from. As always, love you all. Hey, if you like this video, if it was helpful, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We would love to have you as part of the Dale Cullen Art family. So until next time, guys, take care.